You need
So
some
in
sort
this
of
case, this platform will be König Gallery. Okay, so this is your name.
yes, but then it is for our art fair. But if you really wanna, the due diligence and quality control is what makes it what creates a lot of effort, and we can do this here, and we are thinking about rolling out the model in different we are thinking about moving it to Cologne also parallel to an art fair, and thinking about how we can expand it and bring it to other places and have a direct sales platform which is not an auction, where collectors directly can part from work, because that's also a problem, I think, in the art market, that you're like the star if you buy, but if you change your direction of the collection, you start selling, it's way more complicated to let go from things. But then, of course, the other problem also is that when people are researching their assets and they are looking it up and say like, okay, I have a Baselitz or whatever, and I compare that to auction results at Artnet, then they always look at the premium and don't understand that there's not only the buyer's premium included in that listed price, there's also a consignor's fee, usually, which goes to the auction house, and then not every work is an auction record work. So we noticed that we were most successful with selling collectors. We don't take a commission from the collector. We're only taking a buyer's premium from the buyer. So we agree to prices which we net to the collector, but we still need to extend our activities in that field and somehow do marketing for it, because we were very successful with professional active collectors on the market who know that there's a price on having a merchant who's selling for you, which they're used to auction houses as well. Because often collectors, they are very specifically informed about what they have and what they want to sell, and also what they want to achieve on that work. And usually they have the expectation that they receive what we are actually quoting or netting to the client. You understood what I mean?
Yes, we had a very good collector in our lecture series. I don't know if you know him from Instagram as well, Claude Resch.
Yes.
He lives in London. He was our guest, and he explained very well how he gathered information before deciding buying anything from an artist. So we know how meticulous is this process. You know, it's not like buying a pair of shoes that you like. Buying art, especially for non-legible collectors, is a different thing.
Yeah, but here I was more referring about selling. I was more referring about that collectors are selling work, and then they have a work by Gerhard Richter, and they have the top market value in mind, what they should receive. But there's always you always need someone needs to be paid for their services, you know. So and the interesting instrument I now understood even better than before is this, you know, the often the way to go into an auction is driven by the fact that you hope to get more. But you can also see, if you look at the private sales activities of Christie's and Sotheby's, how huge how high the growth was of that. Because of course it's very good to have a certain you know, a deal is a deal, and with an auction you never really know where it goes. And that's why we now also start to right on acquire work. At least we are more focused on like day sale material than really evening material, because that's out of our range at this point. And and we really try more to compete, at least in Germany, with the German auction houses than really with art fairs, because the art fair model is selling square meter and not selling artworks. So it's really more like an auction concept than an art fair concept.
They make money out of commissions, but they don't care about the customers. Same thing. That's the point, right? I mean, art fair organizations make a lot of money, but they don't care about whether the galleries make enough sales to satisfy them.
I think they have a natural interest in hoping at least that the galleries make profits, because usually if they don't return, and then you don't have you need somehow happy clients if you're renting them square meters, because if they don't, they're not returning. I mean, this is also will be the big question. Why doing art fairs in the first place if you are a somewhat stable and prominent brand? We noticed in all these online activities that we did better in our own online sale rooms than in the sale rooms of the art fairs. So that's why we are kind of tired of sending our clients onto platforms when we can have them in our online platform, and where they are driven by books, souvenirs, Christmas presents, limited editions, ending up buying unique artworks. Or the other way, one is it's a bit like a convenience store, or like a department store. And why should we keep on sending our clients to a department store where our competitors are offering their works, when we can fulfill all their needs in our store, so to speak?
So if I understand well, you're getting away of the fair activities towards more towards own art fair. Is König gonna participate further in the future art fairs?
Absolutely, if it's worth it. But what I was referring to now are the online offerings, such as Art Basel online, or and that's depending on your strengths. If I come to an art fair where I'm the lead advertiser, so to speak, to bring them clients, why would I do that? Why should I? If I have the brand, I have the technology online that people can explore work, and I have a big enough offering selection from secondary until my primary program, and good enough content to entertain the clients. Why would I advertise a third-party platform and send my, it's like if you think of that store analogy, you have a store, and then you also participate in a luxuries department. And why, if you are Rolex, and you have your own boutique, but you also have a shop in KaDeWe, why would you send your clients over there so they can also go to Bucherer and Odermatt and whatever? So when we did the different online platforms, we noticed that we had more success on our own website than on the other third-party websites. So we are very carefully going to look why we should continue doing it, because now it starts to be charged, and it's not only the money you spend, it's a lot of effort. You have to it consumes a lot of personal employee engagement and so on.
Exactly. So
we really try to actually work on collaborations. We try to work with partners in different areas, and to develop with them projects. We did that with the most successful German auction house. It's called Ketterer. We did a show of Berlin artists in Munich with their space. We did a project in Istanbul with our editions.
I know Istanbul 74, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, and so we try to I don't know, enforce that collaborations idea in partnering with different people for specific projects to I don't know, amplify our outreach.
Do you analyze data that you collect from Instagram, from your websites? Do you have a data analysis specialist working in the gallery?
And not enough. Not enough. No, not
I
really.
mean, those who can use Python, extract data, come up with different client profiles, um, try to catch their online activities in the sense that their likes, dislikes, etc.
No, unfortunately not. No.
But do you believe in that? Do you believe that in the future, in order to have a larger collectors base, do you think galleries should invest more in the data part? Which now marketing is data. I mean, we were mentioning that you need more salesperson, and now
Exactly. That's more. So for me, what I noticed is, I mean, I spent a lot of time thinking about how to generate new clients. But this I do more in a general scope, like to tear down these idea of an elitist art world, and that's what we do with kind of sneaker collaborations and limited edition prints. But we are not seeking to gain new individual clients. We are trying to generate, and I think we don't do that only for us, we do that for the entire industry. And I think we also do that for all galleries in Germany by lowering the anxiety of coming into a gallery, which I hear a lot is very high from people. So that's a motivation we have, but not to gain individual clients. We need more salespeople because we have so many clients, active clients who used to spend a lot of money here. We don't can treat as we want to. So we want to give them more attention, and we don't need to analyze data. We know that we don't care about them enough, and this why we need good people. We can look after them.
When you started in 2002, have you imagined you will have such a outreach, and what were the difficulties at the beginning? I mean, your father was known as a curator. I'm sure it helped to build your name. However, the collectors were not, I suppose, ready to start at the start.
No, it took quite some time. What I find interesting is everything what we done is like totally old school economically built. Like really like small company. You invest, you start to make profits, you reinvest, and then it's like a very slow growth. When I look back now, and when I look at my friends who started companies which are have a stock market evaluation of more than $1 billion, and then they did that within 5 years because it's fully leveraged or highly leveraged. I find it interesting to see. I mean, I wonder if I shouldn't. Of course, I did big risks, but never. I don't have any partner or financial investments, and that's something which I think needs to somehow have stronger exponential growth. I could have speed up that 18 years. It took I think 18 years is a long period. It could have gotten faster if I would have maybe used other market mechanics. And I think that's something we're going to see big time in the art industry, because it's not anymore only an art market. I think it's really become an industry, and I think it's only a question of time until big. I mean, we see that already with UTA in Los Angeles, that they start to be active in the arts. But I think we're going to see eventually Universal Music or BMG or any of these bigger companies starting. And I think the only thing which protects us from it is that it's really a people's business. But yeah, I think we're going to see big changes.
What do you think about the AR VR technologies to add to art business? Do you think that these new technologies can generate a different art consumption, like sharing artworks at home through visualization, screening, on different walls, or sharing minutes of screening of these artworks? That it's a online art sharing business may evolve. Do you think that these things could happen?
Yeah, I think that I think that it will be an additional media form, like film used to be in the 60s when it started, or even a little bit later with like camcorders and so on. But I don't think it will take anything away from the more classical medias. But I think it really needs to fit. I think it will start to be more interesting when the next generation of artists, which is more native. I'm close friends with Daniel Birnbaum, who's doing these acute art, but I'm not so convinced that the real deal is to have Jeff Koons animate a ballerina jumping around in virtual reality. I think it will be more interesting when VR native artists will start to work with that media, because they will bring a different aspect into it. And I find, for example, the only really promising work I thought was the work by Cause, where you can buy a companion for a certain time, and then you have that thing, virtual reality style, flying over you. But I definitely think it will be interesting.
I haven't heard that, but it is interesting. So
and of course it will help in communicating works and making it more easy to understand for collectors to appreciate. Although I think that you can only make purchases of artworks online if you have made an encounter in real life at a previous time. I have no problem to buy a painting by an artist online whose work I know and experienced before, but I think to start getting involved is not so realistic unless you've had an encounter in reality.
Exactly. Yesterday we were talking with the owner of Half Gallery, Bill Powers. He was our guest, and he said the same thing. He said that online people can easily buy things that they know before, or they can compare with other artworks. Now, coming to choosing the artist, how do you choose your artist? How you come across them? Do you have a team, scouting team?
No, that's a little bit too big of a field, I'm afraid. It's a mix of a lot of